Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. There we go. And what do we have going on today? It's Thursday, second last day of the week, and we're still in that strange spot with Mr. Biden. I'm not sure if he's coming or going, or he don't care. I don't know, something like that. That's classic Biden, of course. He don't care. So let's take a look at. We had the Fed. Oh, yesterday we had the second meeting of the Fed chair, which was very interesting. Not a lot of direction, I guess you could say. Saying he'd still love the cut 2 or 3 times if he has to. But I think the Canada thing is still in the back of his mind. Canada, lowered their interest rates, and 30 days later, inflation exploded on them or started taking off again. So it's probably a real fight between don't lower interest rates because you don't want to raise inflation. Not going into the election. That's all they need is things that even look worse than what they are. And doing what he's been doing since last November, 9 months ago. And that is keep on promising it's going to happen. That's why Doc here calls it transitory. And interest rates are transitory, where inflation is not transitory. And inflation is perpetual. It seems like there's always inflation. You can have slow inflation, or you can have accelerated inflation, or in Mr. Biden's case, we went into hyperinflation. And now we're just in heightened inflation instead of hypersonic. So that is the truth of it all. And the fact that we have one political party that has no interest whatsoever in truth, hence the reason they're in this disastrous situation about who their president's going to be when they have the sitting president as we speak. It's they're saying, a lot of people are saying that this is like the biggest cover-up in government history. Wow. Can you imagine that? What an ugly story that is, So that's where we kind of stand. It's like there's no real changing of it. It just is what it is. And, the Democrats keep on getting together and trying to figure out what they're doing next. But they don't have much of a choice because they only have one theme. And that is that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. I have to laugh when I say it out loud. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But if that's what they're going to run on, they're really begging for a landslide. And that's why the Democrats yesterday had to block illegal legislation against illegal voters. They say, hey, we want illegal voters to vote. Oh, well. Beware of what you wish for, I guess. So, from here, let's take you over to there. There's the dollar index. It's been trying to climb into a buy. You can see the weekly is piercing as we speak. Where's the little circly things? There it is right there. It's pushing its way into the sell. Matter of fact, we'll even put a line up there in case it does that, and this way I don't have to think about it twice. Put the line right there. Make it the same color, but not make it dense yet because it's not really broken down yet, but it's just to make it easier because I don't look at the dollar index that much during the trading day. I'd rather look at the pairs trades and, I'm involved more in the stock market, bond market, and things like that. That's more my speed. Currencies, bonds, and stocks and stock indices, that type of thing. So, that's where we are. What else do I say about that? And that's the pressure on it. Let's kind of have an interest in seeing what's on the agenda. Nothing, Good morning, Robin. How you doing? Let's see. I'm curious to see what's in the news since I was last in front of the desk an hour ago. See if there's any new news compared to old news. Let's see there. Market could be blindsided. Chinese shipping costs raise fears of re-acceleration in global inflation. Didn't see that one before, but that's what I'm talking about. That's the problem. That is the problem. The last thing Mr. Powell needs to do is fuel that inflation more. It's better to keep on roaming around telling people we're gonna cut rates. They're transitory. We're cutting them. It's gonna happen. Get off our backs. That's basically it. It's not a year since we said it last. Don't worry. Now let's see, what else did they say? Futures dip ahead of a very good CPI. Well, let's see what the stock market has done. Well, I guess that's, I don't know, it doesn't look like a dip to me. Matter of fact, here you go. There, that's when the CPI came out. How can it? Why would it say that? Futures dip ahead of. Oh, ahead of. So they dropped down, and now they've made another record high. So the news, they were lowering the market so they could get in, get some suckers to sell to them. Remember, for every buyer there's a seller. See, that was the all-time high right there. So, market was sliding a whole 8 or 9 points. They considered that dip. It's a dip. A dip. A dip, dip, dip. And then the news came out, and it jacked it from up over 20 handles, 25 handles, almost 30 handles. So it's an election year bull market. Someone's got to take this market up. If they don't take it up, no one else will. Remember, the Federal Reserve has all the power in the world to do whatever it wants to do. It's the buyer of last resort now. There is no New York Stock Exchange or hedge funds capable of influencing anything more than just selling. They're underinvested. At the same time, they stay underinvested and keep on hoping. And you see here, stock market now, the all-time high in the S&P 500 is 507.50. 5,707.50. We're trading at 5703, as you can see right there. See it right there? Right there. So this is the intraday game. And let's go back to the dollar index. Don't seem like they're knocking it down that much. Let's take a look at the 30-year bond. Yesterday we were looking at all the bonds. Whoopsie daisy. Remember, when this rises, interest rates are dropping. When this dropped, interest rates were rising. So we're going after some nice highs here in the 30-year bond. And when we go all the way back to March, well, you can see even all the way back to February, we were over the one up to the 120. Is that the 124 area? Yeah. And where are we at now? 119.23. So, maybe the bonds will find their way up in there. That's all Powell has to do is keep on promising he's going to cut. Because why, traders? Interest rates are transitory and inflation is not. Some of the Powell news yesterday was he hadn't talked to Joe Biden in 2 years. That was really weird. For somebody to try to stay on top of the economy. I'm talking about Jojo the monkey. We expect him to at least talk to the man that's in charge of it all. Good old Jojo. He has those little symbols. You ever see Jojo the monkey? It has the little symbols, and they feed him peanuts, and then they sell peanuts on the street. Anyhow, that's always related to Biden as Jojo the monkey. Let's see, CPI. That's because we live around Jojo the monkey, and we've watched him for 50 years, and he acts like a monkey. But to everybody else, he's the leader of the free world. All right. Nice. See, stock fragility of the highest on record. What's that mean? The average magnitude of fragility events in the largest stocks of the S&P is currently at its most extreme since 1992. Didn't we get a bottom in 1992? I think we did. Yeah, and then it set up for 1994. Interesting. Let's see. Now satisfied Americans where their finances are. Oh, okay. AI or crash? A show me money attitude starting to emerge. All the latest on AI trade and comparisons with 2000. They're saying like the internet bubble. I don't think there's much that's going to crash. I mean, you're only talking about, was it 7? Let me do this calculation in my head real quick. 7 stocks in the NASDAQ, basically, are carrying the whole market up over 50%. So in other words, the other stocks, all 493 of them in the S&P 500 are, they're moving along, but they're not exactly exploding. So I wouldn't worry about a crash. Now the internet, I can tell you, when you talk about, I had one weird trade on, and it made an incredible amount of money because we were expecting weakness, lots of weakness. It was in, I'm trying to think of the stock now. Juniper. Stock was trading around $195, $200 a share. It had gotten up to $211. They had basically no real earnings. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon traded up to $199 and change. It crashed down to $32. Juniper crashed down to $26. Had a big bear spread on, a couple thousand times. And I figured we could scrape out, $100,000, $200,000 out of it. Let it drop down into the 160s or 150s. Stock fell apart down to 26, and it was double digits in the millions that it made. It was really weird, and it was like that everywhere. That's what the internet bubble was like. Companies that were trading for 152. Well, it was here's a classic. Was the Corning Glass had punched up to about 211. They drove that poor thing down into about $22 a share. Now that's what you call, like now, they have earnings, they pay dividends, all kinds of wonderful stuff. So it's not exactly, Panic City over there. And so, see, June CPI, 1/10 down actual. See, June core up 1/10, 2/10 were estimated. June CPI year over year 3% versus 3.1 estimated. June core CPI year over year 3.3, 3.4 estimated. June CPI down 0.1%, 0.1% estimated. So, the June core was only up 0.1 versus 2, month over month. Okay, that is what it is. So year over year though was 3.3 versus 3.4. All right, so that means inflation is going up slower than they're expecting. But guess what, traders? It's still going up. That's why it's never transitory. Inflation is always here one way or the other. All right, what do we got going on here? Let's go to what's on the screen. That's the bond looking very firm because they're thinking, ooh la la, less inflation. Hooray, hooray. Let's go take a look at the currencies. Let's go see what the euro is up to today. Not there. Ouch. There's the great experiment. I saw that earlier. Me sad about that. And there's that action we've been talking about. It's climbing into the weekly buy with no problem. It's lifted through the manifold there. There we are. Pushing its head up, up and away. Let's save that. Let me just double check something. Hold on a second, please. Hold, please. Okie dokie, we're back. Just had to check something there. Alrighty. What do we got here? I was baking a pie. Just heard something ding in there. I wanted to see what it was. Alright, now it's a spinach pie. Alright, now from there we go over to the British pound. British pound's been looking very fine right there. Second week in a buy. How come it's not the full hard line? Let's try saving it this time. Save, oh, right there. You know, taking out this high. When we tighten it up a little bit more, taking out this high. Tighten it up a little bit more. That's the baby they want right there. That high right there. What would that be? That would be 131.42. And we're at 129.42. Is that 134? Just double check it again. 131. Okay, we're not that far off from the hunt. So just 2 full handles. Not bad. We see, more positive for cable solely because now they actually have a Labour government that's more conservative than the Tories. That's the problem. But Nigel will come to the rescue in the end for the real conservatives. And that's what the problem has been all along, is that they don't follow in Margaret Thatcher's footsteps. The Iron Lady knew what she was doing. She grew that country well. All right, so from there, let's go over to the inflation fighters. There it is, the Swissies. Let's see. Ooh, nice drop. And they tried to push it in the buy there yesterday, so we'll put that steal this line right there and put it in there. Went into the buy. And today they are pushing it back into the sell. And we are still in the weekly sell. So, it was trying to get up in there. It was getting close. I put that box in there because it was flirting with it yesterday. But, it didn't break any manifold or anything like that. So, it was still in that sell. And you can see here it's still, doing its job. And this was one nice run. Maybe they were starting to doubt that transitory interest rate. That's what they were probably starting to doubt. They were saying, I'm not sure if the interest rates are really going to go down. And so then maybe that's we kept on seeing the dollar index firming up. Indeed. I'm having a sip of my tea. Just need to stir it. It was a little hot. All right. So from there, where do we go from here? Let's go take a look at Mr. and Mrs. Yen. Oh, whoa, doggy. Look at that, almost a 4-handle drop. It's definitely over a 3-handle drop for sure. Oh, man, that is great. Let's see, let's hope. Bigger than those 2 days right there. Wow. They believe. They do believe. They can believe. All right. And we wonder what the Nikkei did. Let's see if we can find the Nikkei. There we go. And the Nikkei was down 125, so they did the opposite. They left the all-time highs. Remember, that's the currency inflation thing. That's why they buy the stocks to begin with. And then from there, we go over to, we saw the great experiment. Look at that. It's going after the 36 area again. I'm so sad. We were hoping for so long they would just find a way of staying in a 2,000 range. But no. President Aragon must keep on doing his experimentation. The great experiment. That's why we call it that. He's taken that currency from 1 to 36. Talk about not knowing what you're doing. Well, I hope he's getting rich on the side somewhere along that. Because if someone, it'd be sad if nothing ever was gained from it. But you've seen, and I've seen, the stories with his son-in-law and so forth. So obviously, this is a profit center. Being leader of Turkey is a definite, solid profit center for him. Not for anybody else, but definitely for him. I think that's why we see when the currency makes a dramatic move, usually there's front running ahead of it. Notice, as we said, it went into the buy right there. It tried to go into the sell and failed at it. And so that shows us that there's buyers coming in, consistently slow, steady buyers. In this case here for the lira, the euro, and they're selling the Turkish lira against it. And so, they're getting short their own currency. And they knew ahead of time because, look where we're at now. We're going up and challenging. We were really hoping they could get trapped in that box for a while and give a relief to the Turkish people. But former Prime Minister Aragon, now President Aragon, has been leading this product up from 1 to 36. And that's why it's the great experiment. The question is, how long will Turkey put up with that? I guess sheep or sheep. I guess that's what it comes down to. All right. From there, we go over to the South African Rand. Good. Pressing down more, which more than likely would mean we're seeing a lower gold. A higher gold. So let's see what gold's doing. And there it is right there. Pop diddy doo dah. So they were buying the gold last week, and now gold has moved from basically the 2350 area to the 2412 area, basically. So they've given you plenty of opportunity to get in, that's for sure. We got into that crazy daily buy right there at the 23. No, where's that? 2336, something like that. And now it's almost $100 higher. We saw silver. They were reaching for the silver days and days ago. We saw that. They just kept on reaching for it. So, they had a good idea what was coming. Monday is the convention. It'll be fun. Trump may tell us who his vice president was going to be. And if not Monday, he has maybe up to Wednesday, something like that. Like, why, as they're eating Jojo the monkey alive in the media, why bother anybody to tell them? Hell, tell them, we'll wait till like September. We'll tell you in September who the vice president's going to be. But I guess not. They will announce it in the convention. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun. The Republicans are having a convention where people can get together, talk, challenge, have conversations. Democrats are going to go a la COVID. They're going to zoom into their convention. They're not really going to, I guess they'll probably put actors or something like that. I don't know what they're going to do exactly. There's talk of a Zoom convention. They're really afraid of the rioting that's going to go on. One side of the Democrat Party wants to attack the other side of the Democrat Party. And so there's been talk over and over it's going to be like the 68 convention. But if they have a virtual one, then they don't have to worry too much because they don't have to show you what's going on outside because no one is inside to begin with. You know, they'll show a couple of pictures of how people are protesting outside, but, you know, overall, the media, who's been obviously disinformation on us for years, has been caught in the lie itself. So we are at a point now where people who have been saying people are lying have been the liars. That's the weird part out of it all. But anyway, they're running the commercials now for the convention for the Republicans. And we'll see what the Democrats do. It'll be entertaining. All right, now from there, we go over to the silver. And silver's doing the same thing in a buy from the 29.75 area, maybe? 29.56, okay. And it's run all the way up to 20... Where's it at there? 32.05 today. It's been in the weekly buy for this cute little ride from there. So, not bad. Go silver, go. Go silver, go. Go silver, go. Then. There it is right there. There's the copper. The copper is trying to stumble and bumble and act like it wants to do something, but not really happening. The weekly is trying to get going, but not that. And we're not seeing any China stories at the moment. So, you know, there's nothing like, you know, something going on there, you know. You know, that's the whole thing, is when the China story starts to kick out. That's always fascinating. They've had so many problems. We showed you yesterday the clawback situation. That's pretty wild, you know. They're clawing back money from people that made money over the last bunch of years. In other words, basically their income is going to be much lower. It just is what it is, I guess. You know, in other words, it's a communist country. They come up with all kinds of ideas. So, from there, we shoot over to platinum, which doesn't seem to be giving us that much of a warning besides the weekly. The weekly is definitely jamming, but the local is not. It's trying. So we got platinum. It usually gives us a good warning. I think it's the most dangerous short in the world, so I don't know why anybody would buy gold and sell that thing. I'd buy platinum and sell gold, but do it with the option so that you don't get trapped in anything. All right. Looks like the stock market's doing a little swinging. Let's see what they're doing with the stock market. Yeah, look at that. So let's show you. Whoa, look at that. That's a Tesla and a 1.6 Tesla. Let's go back to a longer term one right here, like that. So now they're bringing it all the way down to where it started from. So they ran up to all-time highs again, all-time highs, and now they're leaking out. Maybe there's some news going on. Let's go check out the news again. Maybe something's scaring them. Let's check out the news story. Oh, that's right. Jojo the Monkey's going to have a press conference today. Looms today as cracks from in Biden's Senate wall. Donations dry up. Delegates rebel. Dems hilariously urge Biden to make a decision after he's already announced one. In other words, they don't like the decision he made. Consumer price deflated most since COVID. Lockdowns in June. Core price continued to rise. Maybe they're rethinking why they were excited the headline algorithms did it, you know, and they misinterpreted it. I guess it's the algorithm first, and then everybody looked around and went, "Wait a minute, who's buying this shit?" That's the way we would say it on the floor. Wait a minute, who's buying this shit? And it's like, it shouldn't be up here. And then all of a sudden it starts to drift and it falls down, and there you go. Now, right before the news had come out, we'll put a cute little line in there like this. That's where it was before the news came out. And we're going to make it like a yellow. Like, warning, Will Robinson, warning. So the news came out here on CPI. It's gaining less than expected, but still gaining. Hello. Inflation. And so they ran it up because, hey, the world is fantastic. Maybe Powell cut interest rates this afternoon. It's like, no. It's going up. Hello. Just going up a little bit slower. That's not minus. You know, if you owe $100 and now you owe every month, let's say you owned $70 last month and $60 the month before and $50 the month before, and every month it goes up $10. And this month you're up to $100, or last month you got to $100, and this time it goes up $109 instead of $110. Are you really that happy? You're still paying more than you did last month. Hello? I mean, this is why I call the president JoJo the monkey. He reminds me of the toy where the little monkey has two cymbals in its hand, and all he does is clap with the cymbals. That's all he does, just clap the cymbals. He is JoJo the monkey. He has, and now you saw him on the debate stage. He looked like JoJo the monkey as it would be. And since I've lived no more than 15, 20 kilometers from him at any given time, or 30 kilometers, it's like I put up with him all the time. He's always interfering with traffic and forever and ever. But now that he's president, they shut down the local airfields. You can't get your plane up in the air. You can't do anything, because JoJo the monkey's here. Well, guess what, world? You're suffering with me now. I enjoy it. But there it is. There's the stock indice. They got a little ahead of themselves. So now, what do we got here? Okay, that's about it there. That was that new news. They got JoJo the monkey with his picture. I should show it to you. See if they're going to actually have it up there. No, they say they don't have the picture up there. They're not showing it. Watch this. I'm going to show you the small picture. We'll switch it over. That's the weird part. He's already said, I'm running. Leave me alone. See him right there? There he is. But when you click on it, they don't want to show you that picture. It says, Dems hilarious. Urge Biden to make a decision after he's already announced one. In other words, they don't like what he said. It's like, well, I don't like anything he says usually. It usually makes no sense to begin with. All right, so from there, where do we go from there? We did the metals. Probably that's good reason right there alone for the metals to lift. Look at that. Platinum starting to kick it up. Kick that pig. And then there's the gold again. And it's, did it make a new high? It went to 15.5 now. The high was 12. So they're adding more to it. Same thing with Mr. and Mrs. Silver. No, I think silver hasn't budged. It still has the 32.015 high. Alrighty, now we go over to energy sector. Let's go see what Mr. and Mrs. Energy are doing. And all the little energies. There it is there. If they really think Mr. Trump is going to be president, surprisingly, why would they be buying these things up when he's going to flood the market with oil and kill inflation right in the throat, cut regulations, reduce employment taxes so that people can start businesses? Yeah. All right, that's where it's at right there. Crude oil, you can see at 82.30. And then let's go to, where do we go next? We go over to heating oil. There's the heating oil. That's the stuff you use in the wintertime. You use it in the diesel trucks, and you use it in the airplanes. And so it's, basically calm and curved. And that heck of a run there, whatever was exciting it, has ended again. And then we go over to, let's see if we can get the Brent up there. Where is Brent? Right there. And Brent oil moving down the same way. Pressure is on it just a little bit. And then from there we go over to natural gas. Natty gas. And there it is right there. And what do we have there? We have just digging its way towards the $2 area. You know what I'd like to look at? Let's try this. I'd like to see what the contango looks like in the back months altogether with natural gas. Okay, let's show you that. There it is right there. So right now the August is at 229 basically. And then September is at 231, 2 cents higher, 10 cents higher in October. November is showing 40 cents higher than October. That now it really jacks. 50 cents higher in December, then 30 cents higher in January, and then it drops again in February. It starts to move back down again into the threes. April, May, twos. Interesting. Just thought it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. Then. Let's go take a look at. Ooh. See if I can get that other product up there. The Spanish company. I wish I wrote that down. Maybe I didn't. See if I wrote that down. Let's see. No, I did not. I'll have to get back into the old algorithm. I turned it off. So we just have the new algorithm. There's the new algorithm. So let's do this. Let's go check out NVDA. Check out the stocks that Janos grooves on. And there it is, NVDA. And that's heading towards the high mark there. It's right now it's trading at 37, I think, or 36. That is yesterday. You see it's still in its buy, bouncing along very happily. You see, what is that? Still have not, it's not telling us where the weekly is yet this week. Let's show you what it does on our work right there. Bingo, bango, bongo. Shift over to it now. Right. There. Weekly buy, no problem. And at the same time, it's trading at 135.92 as we speak. Days and days and buys. Days and days and buys. Let's check out AMD underneath it. Right there. Days and days and buys. Weekly lifting up firm and steady. Steady, steady, steady Eddie. Alright, now from there, what else we got going on? That's that. That's that. Let's see what the... Oop, so that was a nice little bounce. Right there. And they did a nice little bounce. Let's see what happened there. You see it bounced right there. Ran all the way to here. Now we're in the sell again. Now it's trying to get back into that buy. Let's see if it rolls over. Comes down and challenges the bottom Bollinger Band there. It's pushed itself into buys everywhere there too. But the longer term is still fighting to try to get into a sell. Interesting. There's 87. Let's see if we get down to 85. Went into that sell and from the 89 area, was it? 89 area. We're trading at 86, 87.50. Let's see if they give us a push down to the 85 and a half, something like that. 85 and a quarter. Let's give us an 86 3/4. Give us that trade. Let's see what it does. Come on, baby. Come on. You can do it. I know I've always said there is no cheering in trading, but what the hey. Here comes your 3/4 kind. Come on, give us a 3/4 kind. It's 87. There it is. 86 3/4. Okay, it's still sinking. And it should give us a move down into the 86 area and break that 86 3/4 kind. And let's see what else we got brewing here, traders. From there, guess let's go take a look at some of the other stock indices around the world. See how everybody's holding up. Let's see what is going on. Let's check out the FTSE. Oh no, you know what? Let's go see the Hang Seng. Hang Seng, China's feeling no pain there today. It's up 360 points. And the Shanghai, let's see what the Shanghai did. They must have lifted it. I should have wrote all these down. I got to go back into the computer and take their titles off. So used to stock. Getting closer. Ooh, I see the Aramco up a nickel. So they're trying to pick it. Oh, there we go. We got the 86 even, didn't we? What's there? 86 even. We got the 86 even and went down and touched the yellow line as it was rising. Perfect. All right. Now, before that, it was at 85. It's climbing now. You know, it's at, where's it at now? It's at, the yellow is at, where's the yellow Bollinger Band? 85.75. All right. Let's check out some of the other world indices. Let's go see what the Taiwanese stock indices is doing today. TW. Taiwan cruising along up 382 points. You know, Hang Seng was up 330 some odd points. Interesting. Let's see, where else can we go? Let's see what KC. Let's see. Not sure where that's at. Let's go find the Singapore Straits Times. STI. Let's see. STI. There it is right there. That was up 15 points, so they're lifting that up. Looks like they're trying to buy the stocks around the world. You know, a lot of this is, let's see what the FTSE's doing. FTSE is up just 2 points. Kind of quiet. But you can see the U.S. market, they want to take it up. They want to take it up because there's a Fed put out there that gets them the room. He's going to have a solo news conference today. That's going to be very interesting. I would imagine they'll have some plants in there that will, you know, throw him some softballs that he knows. And then there'll be others. He probably won't answer. He probably won't answer people that will challenge him. But I can't wait for that one to go. That could be real fun. Let's see what the DAX is doing today. DAX is up 47 points. Got some firmness, but they also popped with the news and then backed off. And then what else do we have here? I guess we could go look for the CAC 40. Let's see. Can't find the CAC 40 today. What else is there? No. We can just show you now the U.S. stocks. You've been watching the intraday S&P 500. There it is right there. Pushing along. It's at all-time highs. It's, you know, and it's been in a long weekly buy forever, ever, and more ever. Then we go take a look at the NASDAQ 100 or the Tech 100, whatever you like to call it. Same situation, rising and rising and rising, and weeks upon weeks, and buying and buying and buying. Then we take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there. It's still way off its all-time, well, not way off. It's only like 500-600 points off of it. It's fighting to be in a daily buy, and it is trying to jump into the weekly buy. Let's see what we sent out. Open. Where's it at? Right there. Here it comes. This is where you use a fast algo on this one. Yeah, there we go. Now it's dancing its way into the buy side. Pushing up, up, and away. Broke the triangle, that's for sure. Doesn't look like there's any real changes in it, that's for sure also. In other words, you know, I don't see any like inside days or outside days. That's always a very positive thing there. All right, traders, what should we label today's webinar about? You know, right now the webinar was, you know, currencies, you know, dollar losing, I don't know if it's losing strength, it's just going sideways. Dollar threatening weekly sell. How about that one? That's interesting. Here we are on a Thursday, and the dollar is threatening. Let's just take a look at that one more time. That's the chart of the day in my head and the product of the day in my head. So let's go take a look at it. And that will be the name of the webinar right there. See it right there. It's playing with the weekly sell. Matter of fact, look, it's sinking even more. They're really putting a charge on the downside to it. So that's going to be the title today. Dollar going into weekly sell. And I guess, if nothing else, one thing is for sure, and that is that the markets have it in their head, no matter what's going on, that they are going to, they're going to, find a way to try to drive interest rates down, even if it's just verbal. In other words, they don't physically do it, but they can do other things. They can go into the bond market and buy bonds and make it look like there's some good action going on, and they can do all kinds of wonderful things. That's what quantitative easing is all about. So it's not that hard for them to pretend or get what they want. Basically, that's what it comes down to. Let's see. Let's put that in there. Yes. So dollar slipping into weekly sell. That looks like the answer to my way of looking at this market. So traders, let's wrap it up, unless there's a question out there. If there's no questions, you can ask questions afterwards, and we'll answer them into the next webinar. So, all right, this is Doc from North America saying happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Ta-ta for now.